Asymmetric multiplayer has been in gaming since back in the days of Atari, with Nautilus being one of the earliest examples. Two players would battle against each other, one tasked with destroying underwater buildings, while the other would attempt to repair those same buildings. One player's perspective differs from another, where other multiplayer games would leave players having similar experiences. Asymmetric multiplayer games give you a different gameplay experience based on which side you're playing for. Most commonly set as 4 against 1 multiplayer versus modes, asymmetric multiplayer games have gotten more and more popular as these types of games have evolved with each iteration. One of the most successful asymmetric games goes by the name of Dead by Daylight. Being one of the first multiplayer horror games on the market with this specific playstyle, Dead by Daylight both showed how asymmetric design can work in multiplayer survival horror games and gave inspiration for future titles with different licensing, such as the Friday the 13th game. In F13 the game, one player becomes Jason Voorhees equipped with special abilities while hunting other players down who try to escape as camp counselors. There have been many asymmetric games throughout the years, all bringing unique game mechanics and executions. While having successfully developed a co-op horde survival game by the name of World War Z, game developer Saber Interactive decided to take on this unique type of multiplayer experience within the Evil Dead universe, and eventually, Evil Dead the game was born. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends has taken over, and gaming will never be the same again. Raid is the first game to bring a true console-level experience to your mobile phone. With hundreds of artifacts to equip and over 600 champions blessed with unique skills, you can build your team, develop your champions, and raid your way. I've been playing Raid for a while now, and here are some of the champions that I've been using. There's Venus, who is an extremely versatile offensive support champion who can put out some extremely powerful debuffs. She also has Poison as an ability, and AoE that decreases defense and weakens enemies. Venus is a versatile champion that can perform well in each aspect of the game, and her final skill is a massive HP burn. I also really like Syl of the Drakes, not just because she's one of the most powerful legendary champions in the game, but because she has the powerful wave stun and can allow debuffs and slowing down opposing players. Raid's currently running a special Deliana Chase event where you can get your hands on the amazing Deliana, a brand new legendary champion from the High Elves faction. All you have to do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and July 20th, and you'll get Deliana for free. That's it. Deliana is one of the strongest support champions in the entire game and can help carry your team past many of Raid's tougher challenges. You don't want to miss her. Click my link in the description or scan my QR code on screen. You'll get a free starter pack worth almost $40. We're talking 3 free champions at once: Misericord, Tiger Soul, Romero, plus 10 Magic XP brews, 10 Force XP brews, and 10 Spirit brews. That's huge. All this treasure will be waiting for you, and it's just that easy. This is for new players only. Once you're in the game, just enter the promo code MyDeliana, all one word, to get your hands on everything. Get 50 XP brews to instantly get your legendary hero Deliana to max level, as well as a ton of silver. There are so many benefits, rewards, and perks to being a brand new Raid player. Simply click the link in the description, and I'll see you in the game. And thank you so much to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Blood and Gore isn't unfamiliar with Saber, as seen with their previous game World War Z, a mission-based co-op zombie shooter featuring hundreds of zombies on screen at once, proving they could provide the technical abilities to render that much dismemberment in the sheer amount of zombies on screen at one time. Saber acquired the rights to develop an Evil Dead game, cooperating with the original creatives who helped bring the Evil Dead franchise to life. If you're unfamiliar, the Evil Dead is a cult classic horror franchise featuring over-the-top gore, slapstick humor, and a wild story about demons being unleashed upon humanity. Saber, having had the experience of designing a system to support intelligence AI in a cooperative setting, and Evil Dead being the perfect mixture of chaos and comedy, Saber Interactive Madrid developed a game that is as authentically Evil Dead as possible, from the characters to the locations of the franchise's signature humor and over-the-top gore that Evil Dead is known for. Experiencing Evil Dead the game from the outside looking in can be confusing. Evil Dead is a game with a lot of moving parts. Upon first glance, Evil Dead the game has a visual style reminiscent of Friday the 13th the game, but with Dungeon Master mechanics much similar to those found in Resident Evil Resistance, where you can control a Resident Evil villain sending zombies and special infected alike to attack a group of survivors, with the sole purpose of stopping their escape. Surprisingly, I also felt a big feeling of playing The Evil Within 2, with its wide variety of ranged and melee weapons and large open areas to explore. In Evil Dead the game, you'll be able to fight back directly against the Kandarian demon, and ultimate victory lies within you and your team's ability to survive fights and accomplish tasks, ultimately sending the demons back to where they came. Playing as the demon is much different, as you'll be accumulating points to upgrade your evil energy, setting traps, sending in AI enemies, or even possessing other players, sabotaging the survivor's game. Both sides of Evil Dead's multiplayer play drastically different, and multiplayer isn't the only way to play the game. Aside from the general tutorial giving you a small glimpse into the loop of gameplay, Evil Dead also features bite-sized single-player chapters. Each chapter varies in difficulty and plays out scenarios featuring beats from the Evil Dead movies and show, Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Upon completing a chapter, you'll unlock a new character to play as in the main multiplayer portion of the game. When adapting any sort of art form into new media, there should always be an appreciation and attention to detail, making sure to be respectful to the source material. I'm happy to say that Saber Interactive have done an incredible job in not only keeping the game feeling extremely Evil Dead, but it's even reflected in certain game mechanics and scenarios. Cars being thrown around, large amounts of gore and dismemberment, huge fights against demonic hordes, the infamous Steadicam shot of the Kandarian demon's perspective traveling around the woods, Ash's severed hand waiting for you in trapped chests, and a whole lot more. These examples help reinforce the idea that Saber did in fact do their research and pay close attention to detail in working on the game and with the creatives who made Evil Dead so appealing. Unreal Engine makes the game universe come alive with incredible lighting, texture detail, and particle effects, as well as varying time of day and weather effects. The soundtrack of Evil Dead the game is incredible as well, not only capturing the mood and feeling of the original trilogy soundtrack, but creating new sounds cooperating with the original trilogy's composer. Speaking of original talent, Bruce Campbell and some castmates returned to provide voiceover for their characters, adding authenticity to the game world. Hearing the actual Ash say "groovy" in-game while blasting deadites with his boomstick doesn't get any more Evil Dead. The central loop of Evil Dead the game can be confusing at first. Playing as a survivor, you and 3 other players are tasked with exploring the impressively large in-game world, finding map pieces, the Kandarian dagger, a page of the Necronomicon, and eventually destroying the Dark Ones, banishing all demons back to their realm. While accomplishing tasks, there's a few things you have to manage. Firstly, you'll decide what character class you want to play. There's currently 4 different classes in the game, with numerous characters within these classes to play as. The support role, for example, focuses on team utility and making sure the other survivors survive. Are you a player that's more into taking hits and doing damage? Play as Henry, Evil Dead's tank role, who can negate damage and survive onslaughts of enemies on his own. You can even have a 4 stack of Ashes, all on the same team but occupying different roles. Once you've begun a match, collect things. Get a melee weapon and ranged weapon to start. Look out for any supply chests and healing items along the way. Using Shemp's Cola for health and amulets for your shields, your goal is to upgrade your character in-game using pink F drinks, attained through opening supply chests, while finding the 3 scattered map pages. Once all pieces of the map have been collected, you'll now see the location of the Kandarian dagger, a special weapon which allows you to banish the Dark Ones, the final boss of the game. You'll also need to capture the final Necronomicon page to send all the demons back. Different weapon types and rarities add variety to both melee and ranged combat. Speaking of combat, you've got your light and heavy attacks, as well as dodging and ranged attacks. You can also drop the nastiest finishers on enemies, giving yourself a few frames of invincibility while dealing heavy damage. The executions are satisfyingly brutal. If you've successfully avoided dying to numerous hordes of demons, stayed safe from possessions, and helped keep your team alive, you'll banish the demons and be free to level up your character. Each respective character has an entire skill tree which allows you to level gameplay specific details, like being able to start with more cola or do more balanced damage, allowing you to stun the enemy AI and player. Playing as a Kandarian demon is much different, as you'll be cruising around a map collecting soul fragments, leveling up your abilities, laying traps, possessing players, vehicles, objects, and so much more. Your goal as a demon is to stop the survivors from banishing your faction. As a Kandarian demon, you'll be able to choose between 3 different demon types: the Warlord, the Puppeteer, and the Necromancer. Between summoning light, heavy, and boss units, each class has unique features, like the Necromancer summoning flute-playing skeletons that buff units, or the Puppeteer being able to possess with ease and cause more fear in the survivor players. Similar to the balance system for demons, survivors have to manage fear, a mechanic that, if mismanaged, allows you to become possessed by the demon player, which then allows them to waste all your ammo, whoop your teammates' asses, and overall grief your entire team. Regardless of what side you're playing on, you're getting a full-fledged Evil Dead multiplayer experience, and the Dungeon Master style gameplay is a unique approach which I believe Saber Interactive have done a tremendous job at pitting survivors against an entire entity versus a single monster or boss enemy. As of now, there isn't much of a meta in-game for demon builds. However, folks are definitely playing competitively, and at times, it's difficult to enjoy the atmosphere and presentation Saber have crafted when a sweaty demon is doing everything possible to make your team's experience miserable. Survivors can be a problem once leveled as well, healing each other and dealing insane amounts of damage. This requires you to be on your toes as the Kandarian demon playing against survivors who've been around the block a few times. Saber have announced future updates, eventually introducing a new level like the Army of Darkness's Castle Kandar, and new characters. Seeing how differently games can play out based on the classes each side plays is interesting to look at. For now, Evil Dead is an enjoyable multiplayer action game with plenty of heart and soul, and I can only hope that content is regularly flowing in and keeping the game fresh for as long as possible. Saber definitely has their work cut out for them, as I've experienced numerous bugs, networking issues, lacking basic features such as keeping your multiplayer party consistent from game to game, ending a lobby when a single player disconnects because they couldn't play the character they wanted to, and much more. These in-game issues can be very frustrating, regardless of which side you're playing for, and both sides have their fair share of problems, which hopefully we'll see them squashed in the near future. Players can maximize their levels with each character and demon, and it makes for unique scenarios and game sessions. However, the game loop gets familiar very early on, and you'll typically find yourself going from location to location with the simple goal of surviving and banishing the demon. Evil Dead the game is a fun multiplayer experience that really captures what makes asymmetric multiplayer games so special, while also perfectly crafting an Evil Dead game that pays 100% attention to detail and respect to the source material, giving you a range of options on how to play the game, both from a single player aspect and multiplayer. You'll definitely rack up hours of experience if asymmetric multiplayer games are your jam. Currently, the base game is $40 US, or you can pay more for future content like the new map coming soon or alternate character outfits. Evil Dead the game is very Evil Dead. From its humor to its over-the-top gore, experiencing Evil Dead's unique take on 4 against 1 multiplayer gameplay brings refreshing systems that do asymmetric gameplay a way we've never seen before, and I wish Saber all the best for the future of Evil Dead the game. I also wish Saber all the best in their upcoming title set in A Quiet Place's universe. Thank you to everybody who has watched this dive into Evil Dead the game. I've been really enjoying my time playing Evil Dead the game on PlayStation 5, and I'm really looking forward to some of the upcoming content that Saber are looking to release for the game. If you liked the video, please be sure to do so. If you'd like to further support MavAttack Productions, we're currently on Patreon. Thank you to everybody who became a patron this month, and make sure to share the videos if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching.